Ladies and gentlemen. baby. Again, you start this video live thinking that this intro is pre-recorded. But is it? We know it's not. We know it's not. Look at me. It's not. Oh, baby. Buckle up, ladies and gents. We're about to begin! Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Everything that brought me alive. But we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. It took my innocence without an alibi. Smoking gun, you got me on the wrong. We know there will come. We're out up till dawn. But how can I hide it without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Oh, we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi.
baby, baby, baby. Without a lullaby. Ladies and gentlemen, baby, 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 baby. Hey! That's right! Ah! What's happening? Oh my God, ladies, gentlemen, bring it down! Bring down the wall. Bring down the volume. I'm trying to talk here, Antoinette. Thank you. A little lower. Bring it a little lower. A little lower. I'm trying to talk here, okay? Thank you. Sorry, guys. I've fired her 5 times already. And she still hasn't got it right for some reason. How you doing? Good morning. It's a little earlier in the morning. Think of this as your guitar podcast radio on the way to work. Guys, I hope you're well. Happy Thursday. I don't know where you are in the world right now. Happy Thursday if you're in Japan. It's going to be a little early in the morning. We're almost on Friday, but that's okay. And I got to tell you guys something. I got to tell you something crazy, man. I am in the mood today. I'm so in the mood today because we have an awesome docket going on. An awesome docket. Boy, oh boy. We're going to talk about a whole lot of stuff today, all right? And the content that we're going to cover today is going to be different than the usual stuff. And I hope you guys like it because it's going to be a lot of fun. First, we're going to talk about Schecter Guitar Research's awesome new guitar. I adore the look of this new guitar. And it has to do with Zakk Wylde. We're going to talk about that guitar first thing first. We're going to go neck deep from the get-go, ladies and gents. Then, we have a segment of the stream where we're going to talk about the most BS articles of the week. So, every week, Mr. Sorenzo, that's me. I cover a lot of articles. I read them. I know how to read, okay? And more often than not, there's something valuable there. A little bit, not really, like half the time maybe. Not really, maybe 30% of the time there's something valuable in there. Well, I mean, not really, maybe 10% of the time there's something valuable in there. Maybe less. But this week particularly was garbage. Excuse my French. Those articles were garbage. And so I picked up 3 or 4 of them that were really garbage, but they were palatable. You know, so I hate to see everybody vomiting halfway through the stream, okay? We're going to go through some of those, and I've got some tips for you guys. One of the articles was about how to file your frets. And I was like, man, that article sucks. It's a lot simpler than that. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about a new Strandberg NX model. And interestingly enough, it's not an NX. It's really more of an N2 kind of specs, somewhere in between. We're going to talk about that. Strandberg, I think, did a great job with that guitar. And I found it really interesting. And then we're going to talk about a few things here and there. A little bit of news there, a little bit of gossip there, and then take it forward. How the heck does that sound, ladies and gents? How does that sound? Does that sound good? If that's a yes, then let us get the party started, okay? So let me bring the music down a little, because this Antoinette assistant girl I hired, she's really not up to the task today, so we're going to play something a little different. Hopefully this is nice and loud enough for everybody. On YouTube and Twitch, if I can have somebody on YouTube and somebody on Twitch, please confirm that the music is nice and loud enough, but not too loud. The background music I'm talking about. Can I get a confirmation there? Twitch and YouTube. That'll be great. Yes, please. Is that a yes? Is that a thumbs up or no? Make your decision, guys. Make up your mind, okay? Make up your mind. Are we good? All right. Let us get to the items on the docket. Baby, let's go. Let us go. So, guys, check this out. This is an awesome guitar, to be fully honest with you guys. I thought this was great. This is a Wylde Audio Wrathmaker that is built by Schecter guitars. Now, for those who don't know, let me make myself a little smaller there. There we go. Zakk Wylde's brand of guitar with this lovely W that kind of looks like Marilyn Manson's logo has been produced by different guitar manufacturers and their manufacturing parties. It was at some point with Dean, if I'm not mistaken. But right now, it was with Washburn at some point as well. But right now, it is with Schecter Guitar Research. Now, the thing about Schecter is, and some people might not know this, Schecter's, one of the founders of Schecter's, if I'm not mistaken, was a senior worker in ESP at some point. Their ground, the ground that they cover in terms of like their customer profile, ideal customer profile, is not that different to ESP's. But Schecter is still, you know, in their competition with ESP and LTD models, obviously they're doing the best they can to, you know, take as much market share as they possibly can. And still, Schecter, because what happens is that when you have a guitar company that is trying to get as much market share they possibly can, what they do is that they provide a lot of bang for your buck, right? They sort of reduce their profit margin so that for less amount of money, you get the most value so they can steal market share. So they can, you know what I mean, concur a part of the market. And Schecter, when they started, they've been in that competition with ESP and LTD for a while. And to this day, I think Schecter guitars are a little underrated. And if you guys have seen probably like, I've made a few videos about Schecter guitars, different models on my channel. If you check those older videos out, even in those, when I'm talking about the specs, I'm like, man, they're great specs for that kind of a price tag. So Schecter's always been there doing that, and I love that about Schecter. Usually you can get like a good guitar for your money, good value for your money from Schecter, right? Regardless, I wasn't aware that Zakk Wylde's now working with Schecter. I didn't know that, and this guitar is called the Wrathmaker with this awesome looks. Now, it goes for $1,800. It comes in 3 different top woods, as you see, 3 different colors like that. And honestly, all 3 look awesome. I think out of the 3, this one is my favorite because I love spalted maple and similar pattern, you know, similar pattern woods. But honestly, they look awesome. They look beautiful. So anyways, and by the way, you know, these are like real photos, not remakes, because you can see the angle of the headstock change in these 3 photos. Have a look at this angle. Have a look at this one. Have a look at this one. These are like actual real photos. I don't think these are like makeups or whatever, right? Anywho, look at that. For $1,800. You have what? 3 knobs there. I don't know, 2 vol, 1 tone, or the other way around. Your pickup selector is in a nice spot. I actually really like this. Washburn and Fours have their pickup selector down there, and it's really nice when you strum and you play. It's like a, you know, your right hand can easily switch your pickups as easy as it gets. So that's really nice. Just on the first look, it looks beautiful. Now, let's have a look at the specs of this thing. Let's check it out. And it's available for international shipping. Heck yeah, I love it. Like, man, I'm tempted to buy this. I kid you guys not. Today, I was looking at BC Rich Warlocks Screw that. I might actually buy one of these. This looks awesome. It really does. It's not a good seated guitar. Like, it's not a good guitar for you to play seated because of the way the left side of the belly, the bottom of the belly of the guitar is. See that? That does not make for a good guitar to play seated. I hardly doubt it. This is a standing guitar. Unless you play like the folk way, right? But if you play seated the classical way, this is not going to work, right? And I practice seated, classical way. Anywho, Wrathmaker is the model name. Guitar color shown is the spalted maple with black burst. This one is the pale moon ebony with black burst. That's so beautiful too, man. My goodness. And then this one is the tortoise shell corridors, but it doesn't tell you what the top wood here is, does it? Mahogany body. And then the top is, oh, okay, tortoise shell corridors. All right, fair enough. We're not going for a specific wood there. Fine. Let's go with the spalted maple. I like it. So, spalted maple with black burst. Satin black hardwares. Flat top. Right-handed, obviously. Set neck with deep insert joints. Guys, what this means is that the way that the neck is connected to the body is glued. But deep insert means that this bit of the guitar neck here, see that, goes a little bit more in than usual, right? So it sort of like clamps in a little bit more than usual. Than your usual like set necks where sort of like the neck just goes into like the body cavity. So this one is a little bit more in, and the idea behind it is that it will make your neck more stable. It's just a better neck body joint. But honestly, like standard old school set necks are, they've always worked well. You know, that's why we keep doing them. Body material is mahogany. Top wood is spalted maple. Gorgeous. Tone Pro's locking to pneumatic bridge with locking stop tailpiece, which is this. Simple bridge and tailpiece like that. So easy to handle. Easy setups. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Grover Tuners, ebony fretboard, 3-piece maple neck material. That's what we're talking about. Show me a better photo. Come on. Doesn't have a photo of the neck, does it? Hardly. Okay. We'll just take their words for that one. Now, interestingly enough, this is the part that I found really interesting and a little annoying, to be honest with you. I think this is a bit of a downside to this guitar. It's a short-scaled guitar. It really is, right? So you got the runes, inlays, and whatever not they're talking about, and then you have the dots that they're talking about on the side. But then this bit, the scale, is like the downer on the neck. As awesome as the inlays and whatever is, right? 24.6 is short scaled. And I'm surprised that I think this is just like a Zach requirement. This is like a Zach spec. Zach wanted it that way, so they did it that way. Modern metal is utilizing down tuning more than ever. More than ever. Right? And, you know, there's only so thick you can go without, and by the way, so here's the thing, right? Short scale guitars, for those who don't know, it means that you can't down tune the guitar as much. If for example, this guitar was 25.5 inch in scale, right? When you down tune your strings, they would get less floppy because it's a longer scale length, right? So you could achieve a better down tune, right? Now, you can sort of remedy this issue. You can band-aid it by putting in thicker string gouges, right? So if this one comes with 942s, which I think it does, it comes with 1046s, my apologies. So if it comes with 1046s, right, you can put in 1052s, right? If you want to go for like lower tunings there, so that covers your 6th and 5th string a lot better. Or you can go with the 11s, right? You can do that. The problem with thicker string gouges is that you lose some brightness in the tone of your guitar. Right? And brightness is really important, right? Like a lot of effort goes into guitar building, right? That has to do with making sure that the guitar is bright enough. The sound that comes out of your guitar is not muddy, is not too wet. Do you know what I mean? Brightness is actually something that guitar builders always strive for, right? Obviously, there is a point of too much. There's a point of ice pickiness. There's a point of too much brightness, right? But especially with these metal guitars, man, brightness is something that really, and humbuckers too, right? So single coils are usually sound brighter. If you look at their response frequency, there's a loud note that they have, and they're higher in treble. Overall, like, they're brighter sounding pickups. Humbuckers are not. So I'd be hesitant putting a set of 11s on this guitar, is what I'm trying to tell you. So you might go down a couple of steps with no problems on a 1046 gouge. Maybe, but not lower than that. I think then that'll starts to become problematic. Then you have to adjust your action and all that jazz, and it becomes a bit of an issue. Right. Hopefully that made sense. So everything is so great about the neck. 24.6 is not great scale length. I do not like it. Unless you just play like standard tuning, but then again, how much modern metal can you actually play on standard tuning? If you want to play with the original tuning of the song. Yeah. Now, for fairness, this guitar is not necessarily a modern. This guitar is more of a thrash metal kind of a guitar, right? So even if you look at the bridge pickup, right, EMG 81 neck is EMG 85. 8185 is the classic textbook standard thrash metal pickup configuration. It's something that, like, Slayer's had it, Hanman from Slayer had it. I don't know if Kerry King still has the 8185s. I know at some point he played it. Metallica played it. Both James and Kirk at some point were on 8185s. They still are. I'll be surprised. Like, you can double check that. I know Kirk has his own signature pickups right now with EMG. And there are iterations of 8185s. Right? So 8185 is like textbook gold standard thrash metal pickup configuration, right? And thrash metal doesn't go low. Like, if you want to down tune, like, look for songs that, like, you know, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, those bands, usually doesn't go below a couple of steps down. Usually doesn't. More often than not, Metallica, more often than not in standard tuning, right? And some songs with like half step down or 2 steps down, right? So this guitar is really, Zakk Wylde is not a, you know, prog metal player, right? You get the idea. You guys get the idea. Neck shape is Zakk C. Thickness 32 mils on the first, and then 12 frets. So this C is like medium thick. It's not a thin neck at all. There are thinner necks out there, by the way, guys. Like 16 mil to 16 to 20 mil, like is kind of thinnish. This is not the thinnest neck that you can find in the market. So it's like, think of like a Fender C-shaped neck that is like not thin. 22x jumbo frets. Not 24. So, you know, we cut short scale length. No, not 24 frets. You know, not ideal, but that's okay. Now, 14-inch fretboard radius. We love that. We like anything from 14 inches and above. 14, 16, and 20. The flatter the fretboard, the happier we get here. And by we, I mean me. Okay? 14 inches, flat enough. Thank God it's not 10. I would have killed myself. That's ridiculous. Graphtec nut. 43 millimeter nut width. That's fine. Usually they sit around 42, 43 mils. So that's not that crazy. That's pretty standard. Thank God it has a 2-way adjustable truss rod. And as I've already mentioned earlier on, 8185 bridge and neck pickups EMGs. Now, it has a speed knob, so it's not a high friction knob. It's like quick. Comes with 1046s, and a case for it is sold separately, and this is how the case looks like. It's called the Barbarian hard case. So there you go. There you have it, folks. Overall, I think it's a beautiful guitar. I am genuinely open to buying one. I just love what they've done with the spalted maple. I really do. And because, like, so right now I'm playing with Line 6 Helix multi-effects, right? So I don't use an amp anymore. It's with Line 6 Helix, so I don't need the pickups to be active. I can play around with them however I like, to be fully honest with you. Like, it got everything. So, and I got like a distortion pedal. So I got a Wampler Tomness Deluxe distortion pedal that I use. So guitar goes to the pedal goes to Line 6, and Line 6 goes to my studio monitors. It's just fantastic. Like, I really love this guitar. Other than the short scale length and the 22 frets, this guitar is great. I love it. I love it. I love it. So there you have it. There you have it, folks. Yeah. I wonder whether it's actually available already in the market or not. So when you click on buy now, you can directly buy that from Schecter Research. But I wonder whether Sweetwater actually has it or not. Let's search for Sweetwater. Hold on. Sweetwater. Here we go. Sweetwater doesn't have it. So you can directly order it from Schecter. Okay. Okay, got it. Interesting. Ha. So they're going direct to customer, huh? They really are. And it kind of makes sense because the brick and mortar stores are not doing that well these days, so it kind of makes sense. Here's the thing I found really interesting. Check this out. I'll go back to the share screen. Schecter is doing a few interesting stuff with the guitar now. Not so much I don't know how I feel about this. This looks like their Demon 6 C1 with the cockroach drawing on it. But there seems to be, this is the one that I want to show you guys. There seems to be a resurgence of 80s stuff a lot. Sur is doing some 80s colors. Schecter is doing some. There seems to be a resurgence of 80s style shredder kind of guitars with like these kind of patterns or panther patterns and all that. So if you guys are not following it, check it out. Like you'll notice that there's a resurgence of these coming in, and I found that really interesting because it's like fashion, right? If you guys have seen like fashion trends, it's like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, and then 2020s, right? You see that like there is a repeating pattern. So like somewhere, I think earlier in the 2000s, what we started to wear, the way the trend of the fashion was going was like really not that different to like late 80s. I could get the year wrong, but you guys get the idea. It's like in cycles, right? And we're back to that shredder cycle from the looks of it, right? And so I thought it's really, really, really interesting where things are going here. Yeah. And we talked about this guitar. Let me go back. We talked about the Blue Fade. Jesus Christ, Schecter, just stop the page. Go back here. We talked about the Blue Fade in the earlier stream. I think it was like last week's stream sometime. Yeah. So really, really interesting stuff. Schecter is doing great, I think, right now. Out of all the companies. If they just keep doing that, because right now the market is a little soft. It's a little cold. You know, saturating the market from COVID and tariffs increasing the prices, and economy's not doing well. People are not doing well financially. It's harder to sell guitars right now. But if Schecter is doing what they're doing with, like, you know, providing really good value for your money, I think they'll be okay. I think they will be okay. The question is, will you be okay? All right. All right, how are we feeling? Twitch, YouTube, talk to me. How are we feeling, baby? Are you guys feeling as athletic as I am or not? Tell me. Tell me. Because we're going to need all your energy for the next item on the docket. Because God knows, like my blood pressure went really high up when I started to read these crappy articles. So, for those who don't know, I have this bad obsession with electric guitars, obviously, right? But one of the things I do regularly is I check guitars on a daily basis, and I read guitar-related articles or follow guitar news on a daily basis. And usually, not many interesting things come out of it, right? A lot of times it's just like bleh. This week in particular, there were a few articles that really boiled my blood. And I'm like, man, I really want to show you those articles. Because my God, God knows they're horrible. God knows they're horrible. So, check this out. The first complete garbage article was from guitarbomb.com. And I'm going to name and shame him, right? October 23rd, 2025, a guy called Jeff Stone, like Jeff Stone, right? I don't know who that is. Jeff, that's a horrible article. The article is How to Smash a Guitar, the ultimate guide to guitar destruction. Now, when I first read it, I was like, good God, do I really want to like spend a few minutes of my life, just waste and go through this article? Do I really want to do that? And I'm like, all right, screw it. Let's just do it. Because you don't need to, like, you don't need to know, like, you don't need a how-to when it comes to smashing guitars. You know what I mean? I don't know, we're running out of things to say. Like, Guitar Bomb's running out of guitars to talk about. I have no idea what this is what's going on here. So, let's go through a step-by-step, a valuable article. Let's go through a step-by-step, expert steps that was provided by Jeff Stone and how you gotta, how you should break your guitar. So, number 1, choose your weapon. Oh, God. The first step is select your instrument. A classic electric guitar is a popular option, but you can experiment with acoustics, basses, and even ukuleles. Great value, guys. Remember, the more expensive the instrument, the more dumb you are, the more satisfying the smash. Okay, officially, Jeff Stone is a psychopath. Just like, the more you waste your money, the more you blow it up in the air, the more satisfying the smash. Sure. Consider the symbolic meaning behind your choice. Guys, there's no meaning behind a choice. For instance, a vintage guitar might represent a musical era. No. It just means you're disrespecting that instrument and you're unthankful. While a cheap, mass-produced one could symbolize the commercialization of music. Yeah, if you break a Chinese-made cheap electric guitar, you're protesting communism. That's what it represents. Like, this is like complete bullshit. Holy smokes. All right. Step 2, guys. Step 2. Stay with me here. Step 2. Find the perfect venue. So don't do it in the private of your home so only you know that you've completely lost your mind. Do it in front of other people so that you can properly embarrass yourself in public. That's what Joe wants you to do. Joe, Jeff, whatever. Step 2, find the perfect venue. Where you smash is as important as what you smash. God. Word. An example. Open space like a field or an empty warehouse is ideal. Avoid fragile objects like windows or your neighbor's car. Haha, funny joke. The venue should set the tone for your performance. So what kind of tone is set if you do your performance in an empty warehouse? And understand, by the way, it's labeling the stupidity of breaking a guitar. It's labeling it as a performance. So that's another side point. Anyways, a desolate wasteland could evoke feelings of despair and rebellion, while a glamorous concert hall might symbolize the triumph of artistic expression. Yeah, the artistic expression that says this: I just blew up thousands of dollars on a guitar for nothing. I just broke it. That kind of artistic expression. Yeah, I just blew a few $1,000s. All right. Let's do step 3. The approach. Now, you found your weapon of choice to break. You found the ideal venue. A glamorous concert hall, perhaps. And then now step 3 is the approach. Now, there are several techniques for smashing a guitar. You can power slam. So raise the guitar above your head and bring it down with all your might. Gravity doesn't have anything to do with it, guys. It's your strength. The second approach is the spin to smash. Spin the guitar around your body and let it fly into something solid. If you do it in a glamorous concert hall with audiences, someone's going to catch that guitar, or you're going to injure somebody, and then public liability insurance. You might get sued. So that's a great idea. We should do that. The controlled impact. Carefully aim the guitar at a specific target, like a stack of amplifiers. So not only you just blow your money on your guitar, you also blow the money of whoever owns that amplifier and the cabs. So let's just waste all of that. Experiment with different techniques. Everybody got like 20, 30 different guitars, so you can try different techniques and see which one really works for your artistic expression. To find the one that best suits your style and the message you want to convey. Assuming that message is going to be anything other than the fact that you've completely lost your mind and you got 30 guitars and you can explain. Consider the theatrics involved. A dramatic slow motion smash might create a sense of anticipation, while a sudden explosive burst could just prove that one should not mix beer with crystal meth. Okay. Step 4, the aftermath. I call it regret, sobriety, getting some help, counselors and psychologists. To me, that's the step 4 probably, but let's see what Jeff says. Once you've unleashed your inner rock star, it's time to clean up the mess. Oh God. Be prepared for many broken strings. 6 broken strings? 4, 5? Shattered wood. And possibly a few flying pieces. The aftermath of guitar smash can be both exhilarating and humbling. It reminds you of the fragility of the instrument and the artistic process. Oh God. Conclusion. Smashing a guitar is a dramatic and cathartic experience. No, it's not. And it's essential to do it responsibly. Nothing about this bullshit is responsible. Remember, music is meant to be celebrated, not destroyed. Why the hell did you then encourage people to destroy their guitars? Next time you feel frustrated, try writing a song instead. Great. So, really, even Jeff believes, he's like, try writing a song instead. Don't break anything at the end of it. This is a BS time waster article. And it boiled my blood. I think, guys, the moral of the story is, please don't break your guitars. Look, hold on. I'm going to stop the music for a second for dramatic effects. Give me a second. Look at me. Look. I'm going to do this segment in ASMR, okay? ASMR is important because some of you guys, might have issues. And people that have issues are more likely to break their guitars, just smash it. So I'm gonna do this in ASMR to calm your nerves and calm your inner child, okay? Look. There are times when all of us feel really angry, really upset. Your girlfriend or wife leaves you. You lose a job. Your ding-dong gets shorter. Your foot gets stuck somewhere. And you get really upset. Hell, someone might even buy you an acoustic guitar instead of an electric one, and then obviously that's really upsetting. When that happens, you might feel like smashing something. Don't smash your guitar. You can go on and go to a boxing class, punch some bags, go to the gym, lift some weights, do other things. But don't break your guitar. It's dumb. It's so stupid. Don't do it, okay? It's a bad idea. There are a lot of kids who like to have a guitar and play, and they got the talent and they got the hard work, but their life circumstances don't allow them to have those guitars. We don't care about that. What we care about, we do care about that. That was just for dramatic effects. We do care about that. But what matters is you doing the right thing by your guitar, and I need you to do that, okay? I hope that helped. I really do hope that helped. Can I tell you guys a quick story? I'll tell you a quick story. And this is a true story. When I was young, when I was a kid, I couldn't have a guitar. And I'm not going to go through the reasons why and what happened and all that jazz. It's honestly the same story that you hear in every other, dramatic story of somebody that couldn't have what they wanted and then later on they got to have it, So I'm not going to waste your time on that. It's the same theme that you might guess, right? But one thing I learned from that experience, because it occurred to me, to be honest with you, like, do I do it? Do I want to just smash a guitar? Not to just smash, but for me, you know what it was for me? For me, it was like a sign that I don't have any problems accessing electric guitars anymore. I can have as many electric guitars as I want, right? And that was one of the main reasons, by the way, that I started to buy a lot of guitars, and then I started to sell them because they became too many, right? It was difficult to manage them all. But there were times a while ago, a long time ago, when I started buying all these guitars, I was like, do I smash one just so that I can signal to myself that I can buy as many guitars as I want now. I don't need one guitar anymore. I'm good. And not very quickly after that, I was like, what the hell? I told myself, I'm like, what the hell are you thinking about, you moron? What are you doing? Why? Where is that insecurity coming from? You know what I mean? You can have as many things as you want. Earlier on the stream, I saw a Schecter guitar. I'm like, man, I'll probably buy it. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful. Smashing guitars is it's not the flex that a lot of people think it is. It really is not a flex. Especially these days, man. And the dark joke that I just made in the ASMR section was the reality of my life. When I was a kid, I couldn't have a guitar. For different reasons, right? It wasn't just a financial thing. there are kids out there that have the talent and have the hard work and have the passion, but they can't afford the guitar. And I'm like, smashing a guitar is like insecure. It's not the flex you think it is. It's a waste of your money. It's a disrespect to whoever built it. And there are other people who can have it. Just, you know, if you really don't want to have that guitar and you don't want to sell it, just give it away. I'm sure there will be a kid. Like, man, never underestimate the power of this. That guitar they give to the kid that can't afford to have it or can't have it, that gift, if you really hate that guitar and you just want to smash it, don't smash it. Give it away. That gift can change somebody's life. Guitar changed my life, man. Guitar changed my life. That guitar can change somebody's life. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So there we go. That was the first crappy article of the week that I just wanted to share with you guys. The second crappy article of the week that I want to share with you is this. Check this out. Guitar.com, of all places, did this article quoting James Hetfields of Metallica's Guitar Tech, saying, look, not many people want to watch a band stand in front of their amp line. Metallica Guitar Tech thinks ditching real amps help the band improve spectacle of their live shows. Okay. What happens when you go with ditching real amps? Well, a ginormous spot on your stage just becomes available, right? Because those stacks, those amps take a lot of space. And all of that space is now available for more lights and smokes and projectors and lasers and all the good stuff. So yes, it helps, you know, improving your spectacle in a way. Assuming, and by the way, like having all these amps and racks at the back is not a bad thing. It's not a bad spectacle. And with Metallica, like these guys sell out arenas, right? I'm sure they're not going to run out of places on the stage like that. But anyways, but then it says not many people want to watch a band stand in front of their amp line. So since the 80s or 70s, from whichever decade it was that having ginormous stacks on the stage became a thing. So since then, we've been just like really not enjoying the shows. Really didn't want to see any of those, right? No. That was cool. It is still cool. I find it cool. Yeah, is it better to have lasers and projectors? Yeah, but even now, like, the bands have it, right? I don't understand what this whole thing is about. Like, I don't know why Chad Zamek says not having walls of amp stage is not... Having walls of amps is not something that the viewers want to see. I don't understand that logic. Yes, it opens up a lot more opportunities. Yes. But it's not that bad right now at all. I don't understand that. So that was like a weird one. I didn't like this article either, to be fully honest with you guys, right? And he says, look, sure, a wall of amps at the back of the stage was for decades part of the spectacle of seeing a heavy metal band perform live, but with the increasing prevalence and quality of digital amp modelers, many bands are opting to shun the logistical burden of heavy amplifiers. That's a valid point. Logistics is massive. And instead, reach for more compact modelers for their live tones. That makes perfect sense, right? So logistically, that's a lot easier. According to Chad, fans don't really miss the presence of physical amps from a visual point of view. I don't know. Younger fans, you're probably right. Older fans, I'm not so sure about that. Right. And so he then talks about, you know, all the stuff that they had to go through to, because you guys know Metallica did a concert in Antarctica in 2013, like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. They did a once-off Freeze 'em All concert in Antarctica then. And that was like, that has its own logistical issues. Like one of the things that they had to be very aware of was the amount of sound they produced, because you don't want to, for environmental reasons, you don't want to have a lot of noise pollution in that part of the world, right? And all that jazz. So he talks about all of that stuff and then goes back to his points again. But I was like, man, no, that's not true. In a world where still a lot of people like the true, real sound of amps, right? I'm not one of those, by the way. I'm not one of those, by the way. But in a world that a lot of people still value that, I don't understand when the guy says not many people want to watch a band stand in front of their amp line. No. Angelina from Twitch says, how are you doing today? I'm great. How are you? Hope you're well. Happy Thursday. So that was like the second bizarre article of the week that I thought I really wanted to share with you guys. Like, the first one was a horror show. The second one is palatable and so on. And then the third one was something that I'm actually going to go through this with you guys. Like, so the third article was also from Guitar Bomb, talking about how you can roll your guitar fretboard edges for a smoother feel. And I'll talk about that in a second. I actually got my new fret filer arrived like a few days ago. So I can bring it out and actually show you guys how easy it is to do. And you don't need to go through all the steps that are in this bizarre article. Right. So let's talk about it. Before we do that, Angelina says, I'm good. Thanks for asking. Where are you from? I was born in Japan. I'm an Australian citizen, and I am in Australia. Hope that helped. So, check this out. Here are the two things you need to roll your guitar fretboard edges. Right. So, I just had them arrive not that long ago. Check this out. How to roll your guitar fretboard edges for smoother feel. So this is what the article says. Let's go through the article first, and then let's talk about the actual solution. So it says, look, how do you roll it? This is a comprehensive guide. First of all, why do you roll your fingerboard edges? Why do we need to do it? What are the benefits? Number one, enhanced comfort. That's true. Say goodbye to sharp edges digging into your hand. A rolled edge provides a natural, comfortable resting place for your thumb and your fingers when you're moving it around. That's absolutely correct, right? With more affordable electric guitars, sometimes the fingerboard edges can become an issue, and not just like really affordable ones. For example, the Indian-made BC Rich Gunslinger that was recently out, right? That guitar, $900. The frets are a horror show. So it's not an issue that only like really affordable guitar, like $200 guitars have. Much more expensive guitars have those issues too. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that any guitar that is affordable has this issue. No. There are great brands out there, like $400 guitars, that do amazing fret jobs, right? So, just a quick caveat there. Another reason is smoother playability, yes. Premium feel, yes. Reduced hand fatigue. And that is also true. Eliminating pressure points, rolling edges, yes. One reason that it doesn't say there is that if you have sharp edges on your fret, that I think that's like one of the really important ones that is not mentioned there, is that sharpness, that sudden feeling of sharpness and scratch really ruins the experience of playing. And I've had that playing to me before. I had that happening to me before, right? Like I told you guys earlier on the stream, I didn't have the best of guitars. I couldn't have guitars for a very long time. And then, you know, when I started to live on my own, I could afford a guitar. Like I afforded a really cheap guitar. I bought a really cheap guitar. The frets were horrible. I can say it from experience. It is not an ideal thing that you're so in the mood when you're so like, you know, immersed in the music, and then suddenly your fingers get scratched by sharp points and all that. It just ruins the experience, right? So this is true. Like these are really good. It's a really good list of benefits, right? Now, Next bit, this is the bit that I start to have a problem with this article. It says, what you'll need, tools for the job, right? The beauty of this mod is its simplicity, right? You'll likely already have most of these at home. Files, a small fine cut file, okay? Most people don't have this at home. Sandpaper, a selection of grits, most people don't have it at home. Razor blade, I don't know what kind of a person has a razor blade at home. Like, there are some industrial ones, sure, I have in my toolbox, so razor blade, fine. Super fine steel wool, optional. And then masking tape. Optional but recommended. I disagree. I think having a masking tape is not optional, is mandatory. You must have a masking tape. Unless you've been doing it for decades. Right? Here's my point here. The only thing you need to file your frets, to roll these edges, is two things. A file and a masking tape. These are the two things you need to be able to make this done. Get this done. So yes, remove the strings first, and then consider fret protection. No, man, put on fret protection, right? And then it talks about, look, work at an angle, gentle consistent strokes, and all that jazz. Filing or sanding, and then refinement for silky smooth finishing. It goes through all this list of stuff, right? It's a very long article. And fine, you know, if you want to go through it and read it and all that jazz, that's fantastic. But here are the two things you need to make this happen. The first one is a file, and my new file just arrived. So let me open this for you. I have my box opener. It's a teeny tiny knife, right? So check this out. This is an unboxing video now. We went from a guitar video to ASMR to unboxing. Right? So this is the Music Man fret filer. Check this out. It's this baby. And this is hands down, I think, the best in the market. And the thing I like about this is that it has a circular edge, like a round-ish edge, and it has a sharp edge. So you need this, one of these ones. And then the second thing that I think you absolutely need is this. And you can buy this one very cheaply from Amazon. I think like the Music Man filer is like for like 20-30 bucks. I could be wrong from memory. Let me open this. And the next thing you need is a non-residue tape, right? What you want to do with the tape is that you want to tape up everywhere on the fretboard that is not that particular fret, right? So you want to tape, I don't have anything I need to work on right now, but you want to tape here, this fret, and this area, and this area, and this piece of fretboard, and this area. So everywhere other than the metal bit of the fret itself. You want to tape it up with non-residue tape, right? So just make sure it's non-residue, by the way, so it should be easy to peel off. It shouldn't be something that gets stuck or leaves goo on your fretboard. You don't want that, because then to remove it, it's just risky. It's going to ruin your fretboard. If you scratch it, it's going to scratch your fretboard. If you want to use like anti-goo, it's going to ruin the fretboard. Not ideal. Let's not do that, right? Non-residue tape. That's the first thing you got to do. Then, once you tape that place up, you basically got to do this. Have your guitar, right? Have that fret. Approach it at a 45-degree angle and a 30-degree angle. Go 1 and 2. Let me bring a guitar and show you. Hold on. That will be better. Let me close this knife before I cut myself. Hold on. Put this garbage away too. There we go. Right, check this out. I'm not actually going to do it, but hopefully you guys can see what's going on here. Right? So after you tape everything that is not the fret and you remove the strings and everything, right? You want to see this angle that I have here that goes from this side of the fret to that side of the fret, that diagonal here. That's the first angle. I'm going to use this angle and like a 30 degrees up to down to file the edge of this fret. Right? See that? Like this. You use the round part of your filer, just the round part, and you just go, boom, just one. You can twist it a little as you do it. Just go one round. Forwards to backwards, just like that. Don't do one of these like sawing motions. Just one there. That's it. And then exactly the opposite angle, whoop, do another one. And that's it. It's over. That's all you need to do. Does that make sense? So this whole article about, oh, you need a razor blade. Oh, you need like this and that, 30 different tools. No, man, you just need two things. These two. And you're good. And I just got my new one arrived a few days ago, but I haven't opened it. Didn't open the package yet. Once you do this, so you filed whatever you needed to file, then your frets are going to look something like this, right? So from an upright thing, it's going to have that little thing going on over there, right? And you're good. It's going to have a nice smooth feeling. You just want to make sure that you don't scratch any pieces of wood, and that tape is supposed to help you with that, right? The reason, by the way, I told you guys to use the round part of the file, not the pointy part of the file. So there's like a round bit here and a pointy bit there. Is that the round part reduces the chances of you scratching your fretboard when you're doing this. Right? You can easily do it at home if you do these things that I just said. It won't be a problem at all. Now, you removed your strings. You did your filing, right? Once you're done with it, gently clean up your fretboard. You know, you have, if you got like a, I don't know, fretboard cleaner, you can use it for that. But my suggestion to you is before you clean anything, you can also, if you got like fret polish at home, or if you have like fret polish eraser, like you can buy them really cheaply from Amazon. You can polish your frets if you want, and then do the cleaning. And the only reason I say it is because when you polish your frets, there's always going to be a little bit of residue there. But also, if you use things like polish erasers, that rubbing of the eraser against the fret is going to create some heat. And a lot of fretboard cleaners or conditioners have some flammable material or oily material in there. And when you rub the eraser against like steel, your fret, that friction generates heat. So it might like darken the steel. Like it's not gonna burn your guitar. It's not like you're not gonna see smoke coming out of it or anything like that. But there are some flammable materials in those cleaners. And if you rub your, you know, what do you call it? If you rub the, I forgot the damn name, man. The eraser, there you go. If you rub that eraser or any other tool that you use on the fretboard, that heat is gonna make it a little bit more darker than what it should be, right? That's all. So do everything you need to do on that guitar neck, on those frets. Buff them, shine them, clean them, file them, whatever. And once everything is done, you can then do the cleaning and the conditioning if you need to, right? That is the short of it. And again, guess who wrote this article? Jeff Stone. Who's this guy? This goes to all the valuable articles Jeff has written. This is like overcomplication of it, man. I don't like it. Like, you don't need sandpaper to round up, like to make your frets smoother. You really don't need a sandpaper. Like, I get it. If you want to sand this part of your fretboard, then yes, right? But is that really a job you want to do at home? To like get a razor blade and just shave that bit and then sand it? I don't know. You can, like, you know, it's a bit of a risk for a first timer. But like sharp edges on your fret, easily doable at home. Just protect your fretboards with those tapes and just do one little motion, One little motion, correct angles that I just explained. You're all right. You're good. So there you go. There you go. Now, obviously, if you're really keen to like get your hands on these kind of things and start doing these kind of things, my best recommendation is to buy like a very cheap second or third hand guitar on a local, like, I don't know, Facebook markets or something. Something extremely El Cheapo and damaged even, right? And then start practicing on it if that's like really you want to get into it. But yeah. All right. Chat, where are we? Angelina says, by the way, can I suggest you good idea for your new channel? And then, can I suggest you a good idea for your new channel? Do you read my chats? Question mark. Can I suggest or not? You can suggest something if you want. We have a strictly no selling on the chat policy. Hate to have to block you if you do that. But when I'm explaining something to everybody, I can't just stop and then go through the chat. I'll get to the end of that, and then I'll go through the chat. Hope that helps. But yeah, by all means, if you have a recommendation, I'd love to hear it. Good ideas are better than no ideas. More ideas are better than less ideas. It's just that for some reason, and I don't get it on Twitch, and I'm not suggesting, Angelina, that's what you're doing. But the thing on Twitch is that for some reason I just keep getting people trying to sell me stuff and viewers and PR and all that stuff on Twitch to me. For some reason, that seems to be a very common theme. I'm not saying you're doing it, but if you genuinely, as a viewer, like to give me some feedback, I would love to hear that. And I'm very grateful for you doing that. Okay. Now, that was the third article that I want to share with you. 2 of the 3, obviously, by the infamous Jeff Stone. Now, everybody knows Jeff Stone. And the last crappy article I want to share with you guys is actually from The Guardian. And The Guardian is like a news network, right? Now, check this out. He's like, there's this guy who's on some tree branch and is screaming his head out. And The Guardian, for some reason, thought that journalistically this was a good fit for their publication. They made that decision at some point. Experience, life, and style. And this experience article is, I am the air guitar world champion. Again, talking about stupid stuff, guys. Talking about things that are complete waste of time and all that. We have this lovely gentleman in, not so lovely, I guess, in a green t-shirt on a tree, screaming. And he is not on crystal meth, but he likes to pretend like he is. And this man just titled himself the Air Guitar World Champion. For 60 seconds, I gave everything. Explosive energy. Perfect mime. And rockstar charisma. Yeah, this guy is so freaking charismatic. I think I blacked out from the shock when they said I'd won. So it's not just him that wastes his time. There's a bunch of contenders that do the same. And there's a bunch of judges too. The air guitar community is like a family. Our motto is, make air, not war. Our motto is, make air, not war. Eat uncooked peas and chickpeas and lentils. You'll make a lot of air. Eat uncooked chickpeas. Don't make war. Make air. What a motto. Really. I think it's the motto is as meaningful as the rest of this article. But yeah, no, it says make air, not war. You gotta eat a lot of uncooked chickpeas and lentils, and maybe supplement that with a glass of Coke or Pepsi, like, or any other soda, you know. And you'll make a lot of air, believe me. You'll be full of air for a couple hours. A couple of days, not hours. And if you really do that for like, if that's the only thing you eat for like a couple of days, you'll make a lot of air in like for like a whole week. So make air, guys. Fuck, what am I doing with my life reading this right now? God. And I'm not gonna waste anybody's time to go any further down here. I just wanted to show you guys these 4 articles and hopefully teach you something. And, you know, when it comes to you getting rid of your sharp fret edges, right? Hopefully that'll help. But I really just wanted to read you these so you guys just understand how bad it is out there. Like, these are like real people. These are real people doing it. And these are real people writing about it. And then the same people are the ones that write a lot of reviews and whatever not on guitars and artists and all that jazz. So hopefully this gives you a bit of an idea of how wild it is out there when it comes to these stuff. Like if you see like, oh, Guardian said it, or oh, Guitar.com said it, you know. And thank God, like Guitar.com is one of the good ones. Guitar.com's like pretty good, right? But boy, oh boy, this Jeff Stone guy really did us dirty today. All right. We are getting to one of my favorite parts of the stream. One of my absolute favorite parts of the stream. Guys, I want to drink this to your health. So this is green tea. I just put it in a mug with some ice in there. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I just have a lot of fun coming here, chit-chatting with you guys and talking about the things I love, which is electric guitar, news, and have some jokes and laughs and talk deep, talk shit, and all in between. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I really do. So this is to you guys. This is to your health. I hope you have a lovely day today. Thank you. Oh, god damn, I love a good green tea. That's one of the perks of being born in Japan, man. That's one of the perks. You get your hands on really good green tea. Now, these cans are not that great in taste, but they're good. They're okay. They do it. They do the job. Until I go back home and get my hand on some real stuff. Some real good green tea. Baby. We like that. We like that very much. All right. Let me have another sip, and then let's jump to the next item on the docket, shall we? Ah. Yeehaw. Let's go to the next item on the docket. And funny enough, strangely enough rather, YouTube is kind of quiet today. I think it's because it's a little bit early in the morning. I think that's the reason why. But that's okay. So, let us jump to the next item on the docket, which is the evil that old school guitar players really are afraid of. The devil of electric guitars. Strandberg. Good God. I don't know why, man. I don't know why some people have a grudge against these guitars. These guitars are overall not that bad. They have one fatal flaw, which Strandberg is, I don't know what they're doing to fix it. Kiesel has already fixed that. That is these tuning knobs. And we can talk about it a little later. But other than that, these guitars have a superb design. I've played with a couple. But let's talk about it. So Strandberg Singularity NX7 Pitch Black is one of the new guitars that they pumped out, alongside with their N2 Bowden models. So for those who don't know, Strandberg sort of came out as the as they brought this Bowden model. You had the Essential, the Standard, and the more expensive version. I forgot the name. And then those versions got some revisions on the guitar design, how the body was designed, and so on and so forth. And the NX models came out. So now you had all those categories under the NX series, which was like the next evolution, right? And then this September, so just a couple of months ago, maybe a little less than a couple of months ago, Strandberg announced their N2 models, right? So they made some minor adjustments on the shape of the body, the contour. Instead of having carbon rod reinforcements on the truss rod, now they have titanium ones, right? So those are the changes that they did and they brought to N2. However, this particular NX guitar, despite the fact that it does have actually the titanium reinforced truss rod there in the neck, it's actually an NX. A 7-string guitar, which honestly, first of all, it looks insane good. I love the look of this guitar, by the way, right? Let's talk about this. And we're going to go through the specs in a second. The Strandberg Singularity NX7 Pitch Black is the 4th generation of a true headless benchmark. Developed in close collab with Per Nilsson, ex-Meshuggah guitarist, it boasts uncompromising ergonomics, exceptional sound clarity, technical precisions, yada yada. Sales spiel, right? Now, ergonomics. Let's talk about it. It is a 20-inch radius. Oh, I love it. 20-inch fretboard radius. We like that. As flat as a table. Multi-scale. So 25.5 to 26.25, interestingly. Not 26.5. 24 stainless steel frets. We like that. We absolutely like that. And look how nice and compact it is. Right? And it's like what? 3.2? $3,200. It's at $3,200, $3,200, right? So these are the specs. Let's talk about this. So on the Strandberg website, by the way, it goes for like 2,800. Anyways, the 4th generation of Singularity was created with this guy. What do we have here? Basswood body, swamp ash top. This is definitely swamp ash. Is that sandblasted, I wonder? Slightly rounded roasted maple injure neck with titanium reinforcements. So guys, this bit, for those who don't know, Strandberg has this thing called the injure neck, which is basically like a guardrail on the guitar neck. Strandberg injure neck. Check this out. So basically this concept is, and I'll move myself this way so you guys can see. The concept here is that as you're going to your higher frets on the electric guitar neck, your hand like sort of moves like this. So your thumbs at the back of the guitar neck moves like that. And this rail here essentially is guiding your thumb, is helping your thumb to sort of sit against something other than just a round neck as you go to your higher frets. The logic behind it is that your thumb has to put less effort on the neck as you're doing that because it already has something to land on, right? This is another view. Same kind of concept. Another view. You can see how this contour kind of changes, right? And it guides your thumb around. That's the Strandberg injure neck. That's their patented neck shape. Okay? Again, the concept here is that it's just ergonomics, right? Just to make your hand less tired, more free, more ergonomic. And some people love it, some people hate it. For me, when I played with Strandbergs, like I played with a couple of models with injure neck, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. For some people, it might get some time to get used to, but like I don't think it takes long. Like it's a comfortable neck. Now, one of the criticisms to this injure neck was that these edges are a little too sharp. They weren't like sharp, like scratch your hand or anything. They never did that, right? But they were like too angled, I guess, is too pointy in a way, right? So one of the things that Strandberg has done in the evolution to the next series of their guitars was to sort of smoothen out these sharp, I'm not going to call it sharp, these pointy edges and make them less pointy, more round. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to share this with you guys. Let me just bring this back to its normal size now. So I just wanted to share this with you guys to tell you what they meant when they said that, so that now we all know. Why is it such a hassle to reduce the shrink to thing? There we go. That's a lot better. We like that. Let me make it a little bit more this way, a little bit more that way. I think we're good. There we go. Okay. So hopefully that made sense to you guys. What they meant when they said, you know. Oops. There we go. When they talked about slightly rounded roasted maple injure neck. So the slightly rounded, that's what it refers to. Okay. Obviously, roasted maple on the neck. We absolutely like that. Roasted maple is one of our absolute favorites. We love that on the stream. Right. With titanium reinforcements. So titanium reinforcements is like the N2 thing coming in. So that's some new generation stuff. They believe that titanium does as well or better of a job when it comes to reinforcement comparing to carbon rods. And they think that it provides a better sort of a tonal characteristic to the guitar. I don't know for this to be true or not, for a fact. So we'll have to take Strandberg's word for it for the time being. What I do know is that both titanium and carbon are very, very strong. And anything made with carbon fiber and epoxy, like anything with carbon fiber epoxy, will have a very high strength to weight ratio. So if you put something like that in the neck, it won't make your neck extremely heavy, but it's very strong. So it's a good reinforcement material. That's why when you have like 5 or 7 piece necks on your like 8-9 strings electric guitar, you have like maple, walnut, and then in between that, you have carbon rods going. You have carbon sort of like reinforcements going there, right? That's what we're talking about. So they moved to titanium from that. I wonder whether it makes the sound of your guitar a little brighter. Any effect of it tonally is going to be not that much, obviously. Nowhere near the impact of your pickup or your amp or the cable or, God forbid, the player. God forbid the tone is actually being in our fingers, right? It's always the guitar. But you get the point. You get the point. Ebony fretboard, obviously. And you have the Swedish-made Nielsen Anomaly Signature pickups. And we're going to listen to those pickups in a second together. A 7-string. I like it. I like the look of this guitar. We're going to hear it in a second too. So, what do we have? Did we miss out on anything? Weight is 2.5 kilos. So about like 5 pounds. 5.5 pounds. This one is made in Indonesia. So probably Cortec. I could be wrong. Pretty sure Cortec. Cortec produces the Indonesian Strandbergs. I'm pretty sure. Comes with a gig bag. Bolt-on neck, obviously. Basswood Swamp Ash, we talked about that already. Finish is acrylic satin. So fine. I'm glad it's satin. So no, not sticky like gloss, you know. It comes with lumen lay stuff. So it has actually like lumen lay green on the fretboard. So I like that. We always like lumen lay. Jescar stainless steels. And it has a 0 fret, obviously, right? Because this guitar doesn't have a nut. because this is where you sort of like bind your strings with like Allen keys sort of holding it there. Not dissimilar to, for example, a Floyd Rose bridge, right? Same concept. You sort of like use Allen keys to sort of twist this thing and clamp your strings down. But that's how it works. So you clamp them down up there, and then you have a 0 fret design, which is how a lot of headless electric guitars work. So there you have it, folks. I think we really covered everything. I think we did a good job covering everything else. Aluminum knob, black, fine, you know, not a big deal. So pickup switch has what, 5 positions? Fine. Nothing out of the ordinary there. And it comes, oh my lord, I love this. It comes with a 9.5 64 set. D'Addario NYXL 9.5 64, cream of the crop. It comes with the best strings in the market. I love it. I love it. That's good. I actually play with 9.5s on my guitars. NYXL 9.5s. That's what I use predominantly, and I love it. Best strings in the market, hands down. Highly recommended if someone's into, you know, moving from Ernie Ball to something else. Moving from something else, anything, NYXL D'Addario throws down, baby. Their 9.5 set is insanely good. I love it. Now, I told you guys about a couple of fatal flaws in the design of Strandberg, and this one doesn't suffer from it that much. And the reason this one doesn't suffer from it that much is because this is a fixed bridge, not a floating bridge guitar. The problem is, if this guitar, like any Strandberg guitar with floating bridge, I think it has this problem. When you play this guitar seated in a classical position, this part of the belly of the guitar sits against your thigh. Correct? Man, I'm allergic right now. My nose is itchy. So this is where your thighs sort of go. Your right thigh, if you're like a right-handed player, right? To hold the belly of the guitar, to sort of hold your guitar on your legs. Now, first problem is that these tuning pegs sometimes go into your leg, so sometimes dig into your leg when you move the guitar around. Not that much. This guitar, remember, is not a heavy, bulky guitar. It's pretty light. So it's going to touch your thigh, but it's not that uncomfortable. Like, it's not uncomfortable at all. Some people say, look, this curve is for that. The way I hold the guitar in a classical position, that is a weird one. Like, here is a lot more comfortable for me. Different people, I guess, do it differently, right? So, but that's one consideration. A much bigger problem is when these pegs dig into your legs, and this is a floating bridge. Because now you're going to move your floating bridge. Does that make sense? Unintentionally. And that's not ideal. The way Kiesel, for example, has resolved this issue is that they added some extra piece of wood there, and there's like a space between these knobs and that piece of wood there for you to, like, you know, tune your guitar, obviously. But that piece of wood is the bit that is supposed to be sitting against your thigh, not the tuning pegs. I'll Google it for you guys. Check this out. It's called Kiesel Kyber Headless. It's a beautiful design, by the way. There we go. This shows it really well. I'll move myself. And we'll have to make the screen bigger again. Here you go. You guys see this bit? This piece of wood there? So it sits down against your leg, nice and easy. And you still got that gap to tune your guitar, obviously, right? But now, it's that piece of wood, nice, round, circular, whatever, you know, round piece of wood sitting against your thigh, not the tuning pegs. And now that you have a guitar like this with a floating bridge, it ain't no problemo. Okay? That's what I wanted to show you. Like, that's a design flaw, to my humble opinion, that Kiesel has done a phenomenal job rectifying. That I think Strandberg's haven't rectified it yet, you know. Now, obviously, if you only practice your guitar standing, or if you play like a lot of metal or pop players, if you play in a folk position, so you put this part of the belly of the guitar, this rib, if you put this rib on your right thigh directly, then that's obviously not an issue, because then this bit is not even in the picture. But I play and I teach students to play the guitar when they practice seated, to do it in a classical way, because it puts your guitar in the middle of your body, not outside. It's more ergonomic. It's better for your back and neck and shoulder. But that's for a different topic. All right, let us have a listen to this rather lovely looking guitar. Let's have a listen and see what this is all about.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
I'm Per Nilsson, and I'm stoked to be here today to present to you my new signature guitar.
Cool.
A lot of red details. It's a multi-scale. It's got a 5-wave pickup switch where you filter. It's almost like single coil at that. Back to the for that screaming.
Just play a little.
So I'm very pleased about this.
Not much playing. We're not pleased about it. Play more. All right, let me do this bit again. Yeah. No, it's a weird choice of tone for this particular. I don't know what effect or what amp they used for this. Boy oh boy, like I was expecting more of a genty sound. I was expecting a tight low end. This is not tight at all. They went for something like a with a bit of reverb and delay, a little bit of a wet sound. Now, what I appreciated about this demo, by the way, was the fact that it's just that guitar playing. It's not like a whole ensemble going on, so you can actually hear the details of the sound. For example, I liked the pick attack on this. Check this out.
Hey, what's up?
You can hear that pick attack, and I like that. I think it's nice and subtle, but it's present, which makes your playing sound more honest. Like, if you hear a pick attack, that's an honest way to play. You know what I mean? Like, the guitar is sending out, like, whatever you have, the guitar amp effects, whatever. It's just sending out what you're actually playing, so you can hear the gonks, and I love that. That's how I always play. That's what I always have in my sound. But overall, man, I found this guitar to be extremely interesting. Very, very interesting. And I do have a guitar at home with swamp ash top like this that is actually sandblasted. So all these grooves, all these little things, you can actually feel it when you're playing it. And that guitar is gorgeous. We love that. Lovely guitar. Lovely, lovely guitar. Yeah. Let me show it to you guys, actually. And those of you who are regular on the stream, you've probably seen this guitar before, but check this out. Let me bring it in. So this is a Washburn N4 Nuno Betancourt signature. And you guys can see how beautiful the swamp ash pattern on this guitar is. See that? It's a lovely guitar. I really dig this guitar. I love playing with this. I play with this every day. And it's sandblasted, so you can literally feel these grooves and these edges like as you play and touch. And it feels awesome. I really adore this guitar. So yeah, that's like, I have experience playing with it, and I really like it. It's a fun feeling. So for those of you who are wondering, how would a swamp ash top? I don't know, man. The grains on this guitar. Let me just go back to the share screen here. My hair, goddamn. This is like, I don't know how much of a Photoshop or editing is there, but if it's like not much editing or contrasting is done on this, it could be very well the case that You know, you can actually feel and touch these things at the top wood, which is insane. It's awesome. I love it. Yeah, all right, let me wipe this and put it back where it was. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Here we are. Boom. We are back. Alright, guys, give me a second. I gotta ban a couple of people on Twitch. Again, these guys are going with their sales spiel. Cheap viewers. Come and buy some cheap viewers from us. Like, what's the point of buying viewers, man? Good God. What is the point of buying viewers is beyond me. So annoying. Can you report people like this? Like, no. Like, the categories are too strong. I don't think I can report them. I just block them. Whatever. So obnoxious. And I keep telling these guys, and one of the things they do, these people that sell viewers on Twitch, one of the things they do always, all the time, is that they come in and be like, hey, like, how you doing? Lovely stream. Where are you from? What do you do? And then, why don't you answer me? And this is one of those ones, like, they immediately, if you don't answer what they say, like, why didn't you answer me? And then you engage with them, and then they start to sell you something. They have a suggestion on how to improve your stream. And the cheap viewers. Oh, man. So annoying. And I keep telling them, don't do that, guy. I'm just going to block you. Don't do it. Don't waste my time. But they do not listen at all. Anyways, I had a couple of tiny little things to discuss with you guys, and then we're going to call it a day. We'll call it a stream, I guess, right? Because the day just started, okay? Good morning, New York. I think it's like, what, 8:30 or something in New York? Texas is around like 7 o'clock or something. I don't know. What time is in Austin right now? I wonder. Anywho, check this out. There was a couple of things that I thought it was like interesting that kind of grabbed my attention. They're like miscellaneous items that they don't fit anywhere, but I thought they were interesting enough to talk about. The first one is Slashy Slash said something that I thought it was interesting. What Slashy Slash said was on about playing solos differently from a recorded version live. So you record something, you record a solo, for example, November Rain or Don't You Cry, and then the question is whether you play the exact same solo live or you play something different. And that's an interesting point he brings up, right? Because I know for a fact that a lot of people, when you go and listen to your favorite song live, you want to listen to your favorite song live. You want to hear what you heard on the record, but played live. Obviously, when you hear something live, it's a completely different vibe, and people around you, it's just a different feel. But it's a familiar thing. You're not going there. You know what you're getting there, and you love it, right? The other side of the argument, so there's another group of people that says, look, that's boring, man. Why do you want to hear the exact same thing that you've heard before? It's boring. We need something new, some variation, something more exciting. But also that gives the artist the creative freedom to sort of say improvise instead of playing the exact same solo, and however many phrases that they may have the time for, right? So Slash is bringing up a really good point here, I think. You can't just go off a tangent like I would like to do sometimes in songs like that, right? That's exactly the point that I just brought up. The guitar work in the classics of Guns N' Roses is something that most guitarists study while striving to improve their skills. While the riffs are renowned for a reason, it's the solos, played by hat-wearing guitarist Slash, that are often target of praise, right? He says, I have to admit, it feels weird. Like, if I get hung up one night, so if I get hung up one night and don't feel like playing the solo for Sweet Child of Mine, and I play something else, and that does happen, especially if I break a string, it feels weird if I don't play the solo the way it's supposed to go. I know people get really disappointed if I don't play the way they're used to hearing it. And that's a double-edged sword. It's cool because it means something in the context of the song. It's not just a ripping solo that comes and goes, and it's forgettable. It means it has some tenacity. But then again, if you can't just go off on a tangent like I would like to do sometimes in songs like that, so that just doesn't feel right. You feel like you're missing something if you don't play it the way you hear it, or heard it originally, you know. Yeah. So I thought that was a really interesting point he brought up. You know, if you're going there to hear the classics, you go there to hear the classics, right? That's a fun, interesting thing that I thought to bring up. And I thought about, like, when I read this, I thought about my own experience of listening to music, right? So I really like Guns N' Roses song and the solo in Don't Cry. Don't you cry tonight, right? I really like that solo. It's a very simple, bluesy bass solo, but it's awesome. The song is awesome. I really like that song, right? Now, I haven't heard that song. Like, I haven't listened to it on my Spotify. If not for years, for months. I don't remember when was the last time I played it. I'm probably going to go play it sometime today, right? It's been months since I played it last. And now let's just say Guns N' Roses come to town. And I'm like, oh God, okay, I'm excited. Let me go and see Guns N' Roses. I'm not playing their songs every day. I'm listening to other stuff. So when I go and see them live, in addition to what Slash says, I would feel like, yeah, you know what? If I hear that solo, I want to hear that solo. If I want to hear like improvisations, I go to an improviser's show. Like, I'll go to a Guthrie Govan show. You don't go to a Guthrie Govan show, and I went to see him live a few months ago. When you go to a Guthrie Govan show, you know what you're getting. You're getting like this awesome, like insanity, greatest of all time improviser kind of vibes, right? He's an improviser. He's just the best person to do it. So when you go to a Guthrie Govan show, you know what you're getting. If you're listening to Sweet Child of Mine, you know, you get the idea. You get the idea. Anyways, give me a second. The second thing that I wanted to show you guys, and I thought it was really good, really fun, because we talked about the same thing a couple of streams ago, if I'm not mistaken, and people donating their guitars for good causes. Kirk Hammett put like 150 of his guitars on that, and we covered that. And then Black Sabbath's Tony Iommi, good old Tony, has joined staff at Birmingham Hospital to help launch a fundraising drive for its cancer center. And I thought this was an exceptionally beautiful thing. More and more OGs of the electric guitar, you know, they've done well in life, and, you know, they deserve it. They have ginormous collections of guitars that they can sell for a lot of money, and they're doing beautiful things with it. And the musician who was diagnosed with lymphoma at Heartland Hospital wants to give back to the staff by raffling one of his guitars as part of a £150,000 appeal to refurbish the cancer treatment center. And what legacy better than that, other than being one of the most iconic guitar players of all time. Yeah. So I thought that was a beautiful thing. And yeah, he was, he played with Ozzy in his last show. So the man is legendary, man. Tommy Iommi is legendary. He is legendary. Anywho, guys, I'm going to stick to what I said earlier. I'm going to stick to it, okay? I think we're going to call it a day. We're going to call it a stream. We went on for almost, what was that, 1 hour, 45 minutes? Something like that. I think we did great today. I think we covered some interesting guitars. Boy, I got to be honest with you guys, man. I'm keen to get my hands on that Washburn. My birthday is coming up soon. And I might get myself a beautiful birthday gift. I'm just saying. That guitar looks insane. So I might buy it. We'll see. With that being said, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hype this video so more people can join the athleticism of electric guitar. And remember, we live only once. Pick up that guitar. Play it. Have fun with it. We're not getting any younger, man. Cherish these seconds. Cherish these moments. You know, money, job, everything, commitments. I get it. But you deserve some me time with the guitar. I really think you do. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I'll see you in the next video and the next stream. Take care of yourself. Mwah! Good night!